2 weeks into the Norwegian singles method, I ran my fastest 5K. 23 minutes, 52 seconds, nearly a minute off my previous best. And honestly, I'm not giving the plan the credit. Because here's the thing nobody tells you about trying a new training philosophy. Sometimes your body gets faster and something else goes quiet. So let me start with the number, 23 minutes, 52 seconds. That's my new 5K personal best. My previous one was 24 minutes, 42 seconds. And that one, I trained for. I targeted it, I was ramping up for it, I was chasing it. And this one, it was my birthday. I hadn't attempted a 5K in months. And I just went out and ran. And my legs flowed, my cadence clicked. The form I have been working on, pushing my hips forward, staying loose, it was just happening. I want to be clear about something. I'm not giving the Norwegian singles method credit for this. The form work was already happening before I started this. The PB was probably coming anyways. But what is worth talking about is how that run felt. It felt easy. My body wasn't fighting me. And that was new for me. Now, if you watched my last update video, you know I switched to the Norwegian singles method. And if you research it online, you probably saw the same stuff that I did. Lactate meters, double threshold days, precise heart rate zones. It looks intimidating. And here's what surprised me the most. It's actually not that complicated. The method is more philosophy than a prescription. There's not much workout variation in there. It tells you roughly how much to run, and that's about it. The sessions are simple, the structure is simple, and for the sub-threshold work, which is basically the core of this, I kept myself at the pace where I could still hold a conversation. Low zone 3, maybe high zone 2, that's it. And honestly, the best example of this philosophy wasn't even a running session. It was the day I didn't run. Last Friday, I walked 8 kilometers instead of running. My body was tired, my recovery was trending down. And instead of forcing the session because the plan said run, I walked instead. And after doing more research on the philosophy behind this, I realized this is exactly what the Norwegian approach values. Knowing when not to run. And that might be the most important lessons I've learned so far. Because here's what I didn't expect. I removed the intensity from my runs, the suffering, the grinding, the sessions where you feel every heartbeat in your throat, and I replaced it with control, ease, flow. And there's a genuine hollow where that intensity used to be, an energy hollow. Not during the runs actually feels better, but after, and not just after running. Badminton sections, I wasn't really there mentally. My focus wasn't clicking. I wasn't really happy with how I felt those days. Sleep was off too. Waking up at 4 or 5 a.m., brain running, body not following. And for the first week, I kept asking myself, is this my body recalibrating or is the method quietly draining me? So I started paying attention more carefully. I tracked my recovery, I compared my sleep quality against the training load, and the answer became way clearer than I expected. The running load, it is completely manageable. That's actually a huge green flag for me. The structure is working, the method isn't draining me. The bottleneck is my sleep and my nervous system. The fatigue isn't coming from training, it's coming from recovery not keeping up. And then I found something during my own research that made everything click. That lower adrenaline feeling, the hollow, is actually very normal. It's what happens when you shift from a stimulation-based training to an adaptation-based training. My body had gotten addicted to high-intensity rush. And now, I'm asking it to build through restraint instead. And honestly, that transition has its own gap. Just like the fun gap before running becomes enjoyable, maybe there is another version of that when you remove the intensity you grew dependent on. But there was one moment where it all clicks. Last Saturday, my threshold sessions, I ran a RPE about 7.5, controlled, no PP chase, and I finished thinking, I probably could have gone a little harder. And that might actually be the sweet spot. And I think that's what this method is really asking me to do. Not to run harder, but to run just hard enough and then stop. But here's where it gets dangerous. After 2 weeks, I now feel good enough to push. And that is exactly how recovery windows get destroyed. Because when you're exhausted, it's easy to rest. You don't have a choice. But when you feel okay, when the legs are turning over nicely, when the breathing feels controlled, when the watch says you're actually within range, that's when the old mindsets come back. Maybe I could push harder. Maybe I could chase this interval. Maybe I could finish stronger. The biggest challenge right now is resisting unnecessary intensity while consistency compounds. That's the next level skills that I'm working on right now. Stability over fitness gain. That is going to be my focus on week 3. And then there's also strength training. I haven't been to the gym in 2 weeks. Not because I don't care about it, I just couldn't figure out where it fits without stacking fatigue on top of the Tuesday's threshold sessions that I've had. But now, I came up with a new rule for myself. If my recovery score is below 6, or my legs feel heavy, or my sleep was garbage, I don't force the gym. I do mobility and core instead. I think this is the real lesson after 2 weeks into this plan. No plans work if you follow through blindly. Not Norwegian, not Crouch to 5K, not anything you search online. Because every plan was designed for someone else's body, someone else's schedule, someone else's recovery capacity. And the success of any training method comes down to 2 things. Self-awareness, how honestly you can access how you actually feel, and also the adjustment part of it, how willing you are to change the plan based on that honesty. I walked 8 kilometers instead of running because my body said not today. I skipped the gym because recovery was below 6. I kept Saturday controlled because finishing with something left mattered more than chasing a number. None of that was part of the original plan. All of it came from paying attention. And I think that is the real skill underneath every method. Not intervals, not the zones, just honesty. Honesty about what your body can actually handle today. So if you're trying this or any other training system, don't just copy someone else's template. Tailor it to yourself and be good at tailoring it. Because the plan doesn't know if you slept badly. It doesn't know if your nervous system is already fried from badminton or from other activities that you do. Only you actually know that. And only you can make that call. And if you want to see what this actually looks like in practice, the sessions, the paces, the recovery scores, the days I skipped, I'm putting my exact tracker in the description box below, so check that out. If you're trying the Norwegian singles method right now, or honestly any training approach, I want to know how it actually feels for you. Did you feel that hollow too? Did your energy shift? Did you find your own sweet spot? Drop it in the comments, because I think honest conversations about what these methods actually feels like matters way more than screenshots of perfect training plans. So here's what week 3 would look like for me. My intervals are going to stay at the 5 times 5 minutes, not jump to 8, not extending to 10, just small, intentionally small, because my sleep, my nervous system still haven't recovered enough to handle more loads yet. And to be honest, that's really hard to accept for me. Because the 23 minutes, 52 seconds make me really want to push more. The Saturday sessions make me want to push more. The legs were flowing and it makes me want to push more. And the entire philosophy of this method is telling you, don't. And honestly, I'm not nervous about the intervals anymore. I'm nervous about myself, whether I can actually resist the urge to do more just because I feel like I can. So 2 weeks in, 23 minutes 52 seconds on the 5K, a holo that's starting to make sense, and the real challenge isn't the training. It's learning to stop when everything in you wants to push. That's why I'm documenting this. Not to sell a method, not to tell you this actually works. I want to just to show you what it actually feels like to rebuild your running from the ground up. My exact tracker is in the description, so use it as a reference. And most importantly, be really honest about what your body can actually handle each day. And if that kind of honesty you want more of, click the subscribe to this channel. My name is Felix, just figuring things out one run at a time. I'll see you on the next one.